I've been waiting for this one. It is time for a review. Shawn Mendes Handwritten. Dakota Sheeran is going to help me out with this one. Dakota Sheeran, Shawn Mendes Handwritten, yes, no. You can review Shawn Mendes and I wouldn't get offended, even though you should probably review me. That was beautiful. That was absolutely horrendous. Shawn Mendes, the newest teen heartthrob, teeny bopper sensation, first got famous off of Vine a few years ago, did some vignettes of some cover songs on Vine, and gained a big online fan base. Eventually did a couple of tours with other artists that got popular via social media, won a couple of Teen Choice Awards, landed a deal with Island Records, appeared on the Vamps new album on the Cecilia song, which I would recommend checking out that album if you're a fan of pop rock and dance pop. And then Life of the Party came out, and it's all been going uphill from there for Shawn, pretty much. But his debut album, Handwritten, came out, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. Now, Shawn has received a ton of comparison to Justin Bieber because he's a 15-year-old Canadian who got popular offline. But okay, sure, similar stories to freedom, to success. Similar stories to success, but to compare Shawn Mendes to Justin Bieber, apples and oranges, folks. I mean, that's like saying that Young Thug sounds just like Tyler, the Creator, because they both got famous via online mixtapes. Really makes no sense. But people aren't separating the storylines from the music. Shawn Mendes is, even though he's only 15-year-old, he has a much more matured sound for a 15-year-old pop artist. And this album is a pop release, but at times can probably be stretched and considered something of the singer-songwriter realm. And the reason that it can is due to songs like Air and Kids in Love, which has a nice strum pattern change between the verses and the chorus. Also, some of the closing tracks on here, like A Little Too Much, This Is What It Takes, and the song Crazy, which I think is probably my favorite song on the whole thing. Very John Mayer influenced guitar on there, and heartfelt relay, interesting story concept of I don't need this girl, and there's somebody out there waiting for me, and I'm going crazy trying to find them, and then it turns out, oh, this girl that's been in front of me all along is the one I need, and now I'm going crazy because I found you. Sweet. Aw. On these more stripped back and lovey-dovey songs, the singer-songwritery kind of songs, there's actually very pleasant guitar playing from Shawn. Like I said, matured sound, even though it's a pop album. The singing is very pleasant. Not a whole lot of range from Shawn, but definitely has very good control of his voice and a few of the little runs that he does. Good control for a 15-year-old. What I would like to hear more, I think, from Shawn is his falsetto. He uses it in a few spots on this album, and it's actually very pleasant, and it sounds like he's kind of timid when using it, and I think he should bring that out a little bit more. But very nice guitar playing. Not anything too technical, but very relaxing and very and emotive. So some of the tracks that give it that singer-songwriter feel and really highlight and showcase some of Shawn's talents are good. Very good moments in the album. However, the way the album starts with the lead single off this thing, Life of the Party, good song, especially since this is a song where it can showcase kind of all the facets of his voice, such as the falsetto and the full voice, and the calmness, and then being loud, and contrast, I should say. But this song, especially for an opening track, just feels very out of place. When you put an album in your car, that first track should be like the opening credits to a movie. The projector starting up, and here comes the show, and it's going to be so cool. But to have this song, which is more of a closer to the end sounding track, it kind of feels like you walked in on a movie halfway through it, and you kind of have to figure out, okay, well, where does it go from here? Especially since this song just kind of goes from piano and voice to all of a sudden synth and bass drum and loud singing. You could have done a little bit more of a build up to that. So weird place to put this at the beginning of the album. I don't know why you would do that. There are a couple other moments on the album that a couple of them cringeworthy, a couple not as bad, but it does get rough a little bit. Like the song Something Big, which is the most upbeat and energetic song on the whole album. Not a terrible song by any means, but you know, just kind of a mood killer, especially when you have this stompy pop song in the midst of all of this relaxing acoustic balladry. Also, this is the worst part of the album, I think, even though it's a pretty decent album. This is the part that just is a total turnoff. With the songs like Strings and Aftertaste, where Shawn does this kind of Ed Sheeran-esque rap singing that we know Ed to do on songs like I'm the Man and You Need Me, I Don't Need You. If I wanted to hear this goofy rap singing, I would just listen to an Ed Sheeran album, or I would listen to an older Jason Mraz album, and I wouldn't listen to Shawn do his impression of that kind of thing.
It ain't the worst thing when you're singing or rapping, whatever gets the feet stomping and hands clapping, whatever make it happen. Captain Crunch, cereal's my favorite, and I got In Sync on my playlist. You hate it.
I'm not saying it's the worst thing around, but there are more enjoyable things to listen to, right? Yes? Especially when you put two of these kinds of songs back to back. It's just, it's, you know, 7 minutes of just blech, yuckiness, to be quite frankly. As far as lyrical content goes on the whole album, pretty typical, your usual adolescent melancholy that comes with a teen pop artist. You know, a lot of love songs that are very innocent and wholesome for the most part, except for Kids in Love, which is a great song where at one point he references, your parents are out of town, let's turn down the lights and do what we like and take the time to do it right. Shawn gets a little bit provocative there, but for the most part, your usual bubblegummy lyrical aesthetic in this whole thing. So, I gotta say, overall, enjoyable album. Very good debut album, especially for such a young artist who has a good ear, I think, for writing catchy singer-songwriter tracks. A couple of mood killers on this album, but overall, I really gotta hand it to Shawn on this one. Solid out of the gate album. I think this really does deserve 4 out of 5 stitches. 4 out of 5 stitches. That's my rating. Thank you guys for watching this review. Really do, please give this album a chance, even if mainstream pop is not your thing. I think you will be pleasantly surprised with this. If you like this album, then you might also like some Jason Mraz and Gavin DeGraw. If you like those artists, I think this album will appeal to you. Also, those of you who enjoyed the new Shepherd album, Bombs Away, I think would really find a lot of enjoyable moments in this thing. So, am I safe in saying this? Is that a fair rating? Are those fair suggestions?
When your camera don't work like it used to before, and your viewers don't remember your name,
Oh, you're adorable. Here's my little nugget. It's my cookie bear.